I've done more manual labor in the past, I don't know, week than I have in probably the past 10 years.
Feeling sorry?
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
been it's been a week.
That's how I feel sometimes when I bend over to tie my sneakers. It's like, ow, just happened.
Yeah. So people are probably wondering why we made it off air for about a week. Yeah, it's about a week. Actually, this is a little bright. It's a little bright.
It has been a week.
Yeah,
It's literally been a week.
literally.
That's kind of weird in the scheme of things because, sometimes we'll go on vacation or whatever. We take time off.
Mm-hmm.
But this was semi-unplanned. I mean, I know you were.
Yeah. So for
Getting
the listeners at home, what happened was it was a week ago today in the evening. My daughter decided to do the monkey bars, and she did them successfully about 4 times. It's the 5th time that gets you every
How
time.
high off the ground would you say she was?
7 feet, 6 feet.
So 2 to 3 Kerrigans. That's we're measuring.
Yeah, 2 to 3 of her height, and
Yeah.
she was swinging and she slipped and right on the old elbow, and she broke it, and so down to
Yeah, that's what happened. Your natural reaction, right, without thinking, is to brace yourself.
oh yeah,
Depending on how you're positioned, you could do that with your hands, break your wrists.
yep.
She was obviously, I guess, backwards maybe and hit
Yep.
her elbow. Yeah.
Right onto it, and as soon as she hit the ground, I knew it. Like, I didn't see her like going like swinging, but I saw out of the corner of my eye these feet go up, and I went, "What?" And then I just saw her land, and I just saw her just kind of like stunned, and I was like, this is not
Right,
good."
right. I appreciate you not stopping to take a photo of her crumpled body on the ground. So that proves you are, in fact, a good father.
Yeah, I didn't even think that actually. So I ran. So here's the fun thing: we were drinking beer at my neighbor's house. It was a beautiful evening, like 7. I was only a half a beer in. Like I wasn't drunk. I mean, I just opened an Oktoberfest, and it was like half gone. And I saw this. I ran over to her to make sure one, she wasn't actually like, I don't know, whatever, wasn't dead, I guess, because that would be pointless to go to the hospital.
Yikes.
But she was making. I was like, So I like literally just took off running, handed my beer to my neighbors, ran and got the car, and then my wife helped her, and we got her into the car, screaming the whole way down to Children's. And I've already told Paul this joke, but I'm gonna tell it again because it's great. And so we rush into the ER. You go to the desk, and my wife starts filling out information, and a nurse comes over to do the initial triage, and she's trying to talk to her and calm her down. And they asked her. They said, "Sweetie, did you hit anything on the way down?" And she just stops crying and looks over and goes, "The ground."
Right.
And
I want to point out that I predicted that was the answer.
yes, he did. Yep.
It's
And
perfect.
so-
It's the perfect answer.
Long story short, she had to have surgery, had to have a couple pins put in her arm, and she's got a cast that is just gimumbous on a 6-year-old body. But that's not where the fun ends, Paul. That is not where the fun ends, Paul. So we're hanging out in the hospital, and my phone rings. It's Friday afternoon because we had to stay over the night. We were hoping to get discharged that evening, which we did. Friday afternoon. If you remember, Paul, we've talked about doing some renovations at this house a little bit, maybe a couple things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what was originally scheduled for November 11th and 12th, the basement doctor, the people who waterproofed our basement, called and said, "Hey, we can come and do it Monday." Now, mind you, I am standing in Children's Hospital,
Right.
and they said we can be there Monday. My basement, while we had cleaned it out, was not ready because you have to have everything 5 feet off the wall, like literally 5 feet off the wall, or they will charge you by the foot to move stuff. Minus a couple
Jeez.
exceptions of like toilets, like sinks and washer and dryer. But like if you have like
And in
crap-
your case, I don't know if it's one big room or whatever, but you obviously have this area that you're in, which is an office of sorts, but you also have like a normal basement. So there's stuff.
Yeah, just
everywhere.
just stuff. I mean, like people, like we store stuff down here. Like I have
Yeah, of
old
course.
Surface hardware down here. I had the podcast studio down here. So the whole podcast studio had to be completely taken down. Everything had to be moved off the walls. And then you have to pretty much cover everything in like saran wrap because they're quite literally, there were, and the deal was, the reason why they said they could come Monday is that they had 2 cancellations in the week. So what they did was they sent 2 crews over, which this was supposed to take at minimum 2 days, maximum 3 days. And they did it in a day. They had, There were 7 guys in my basement, 5 with jackhammers. 2 of them were carrying
And this
buckets.
is against the wall. They go straight down. Is that what's happening?
Yeah,
Like a
so
moat kind of a thing?
imagine the whole perimeter of the house in the basement. They jackhammer up a section like this far, and then they put a drain on the inside perimeter that drains into a sump pump. So any water that comes in goes into there. and then pushes over to the sump and out. So there were those guys jackhammering, and then they were taking the
And
stuff
I'm just
out.
sorry to keep interrupting, but you have had experiences with water in the basement.
Oh, yeah.
Is that the point? Okay.
Yep. So we get water. It's very common. Fortunately for us, it doesn't come through the wall. It actually seeps up through the floor.
Yeah. So but that's still terrible. It's obviously damp, and
Yep.
you have to have somebody dehumidifiers and pumps and things.
And all that good stuff. So they put the drain around the perimeter, which is guaranteed for life to stop water from coming in. So so they get that done. That is Monday.
So you had 2 major procedures done this week.
Oh, we have more than that. So then knowing this is happening on Monday, I called the furnace guy because we were getting a new furnace and AC. And I said, hey, and the basement waterproofing guy and the AC furnace guy, they're buddies. Actually, they referred us, and they're great. I would highly recommend these guys to anybody. If you're in the Cincinnati area, I can let you know. And so these guys know each other. And I said, hey, look, Roger's coming on Monday. What can you do? And he said, well, let me see. And he calls me back and says, hey, we can actually come Wednesday.
Okay.
Of the same week. And I'm like, Jesus, okay. Because the furnace and like AC are obviously a big deal, but they kind of sit in the center of the house, like most furnace and ACs do, which is where all our crap was.
Right.
So we then have to clear that out. But it gets worse than that.
And a path to it, I guess, right?
Yeah, it gets worse than that. And so then we're also getting new windows. So I called that guy on Monday and I said, hey, what are the odds that you can come on Wednesday and do my windows? And the guy said, actually, probably pretty good. So yesterday, we got brand new furnace and AC. We also got new windows, which, Paul, if you're not familiar, when they put windows in, you need to clear all the space around the windows so that they can get to the window.
By the way, I've done 2 of the 3 things you're describing. It's just not at the same time.
Yeah. So in a span of a week, we've gotten our basement waterproofed. We've gotten windows installed, and we've gotten a new HVAC. What I'm trying to tell people is that if you need a book for this holiday reading season, I highly recommend one about surface history and the story of called Beneath the Surface, because Brad has...
You also had, your daughter had pins put in her arm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, how are you doing?
Yeah. So then, which leads us to this podcast, because I had to quite literally take down the old one and then rebuild it. Like, I'm hoping that people are looking at this and thinking, oh, it looks exactly the same.
I literally thought you didn't do a thing.
Yeah. So there's a couple things to note that are going to screw me up here. It's actually reversed. Paul, if you remember right before they started this, I said, hey, I got to flip the view because if you looked at the previous videos, I was actually controlling the camera switching like this with my left hand. And the TV was on my right side. Now it is on my TV's left side, controller's right hand. But by mirroring the image, it looks exactly the same. So
this is just like, this is your version of painting the pig. This is how we can tell the old place, the new place.
Yeah. But otherwise, I mean, it's the same material, same TV, unfortunately, same person. But in a completely new, separate part of my house because I moved my like daily, hourly workstation to upstairs. So we didn't need as big of a space. And so, Paul... approximately 9 feet this way is my brand new furnace. And a little bit more scary is approximately 7 feet this way is my water heater that I put in.
Yeah. You have the view I had back in my old house. Same thing. Yeah.
So if this water tank blows, I mean, it would have to be like an explosion upward. Well, if that happens, I think the least thing I have to worry about at that point is probably my podcast studio, but it will take out a significant amount of equipment.
You seem reasonably capable. I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah, I'm sure it's fine. I mean, the last one, when it died, it actually died from the bottom, like the valve, so all the water just went to the floor, which if it goes to the floor, everything is up off the ground. I'm not worried about that.
Rust and the valve thing, top or bottom, same general problem. So.
Yeah, like it would.
You'll see water. The nice thing is you go down every day. So unlike most people, 5 days a week you're down there. So if there's a problem, you'll probably catch it pretty easy.
Yeah, it would have like when I mean explosion, I mean like a significant. If I'm in this room type explosion, Brad is no longer with us type scenario.
Well, geez, that's okay. Let's not. I don't think we have to go right to DEFCON 1 there. I mean, I'm sure.
But that's the type of explosion we're prepared for here on First Ring Daily, Paul.
Okay.
And then, of course, having to get all this stuff rewired, get the light. The lighting's still not perfect, but it's manageable. The other challenges too is obviously to look at Paul, I got to look slightly that way, which isn't the camera. I might
Yeah.
be able to fix that. I'm hoping this
So-
audio is recording.
I mean, I didn't mean to call myself out as a hero of some kind, but I also did a bunch of work in the beginning days. I moved my desk a 45-degree angle away from the way it used to be,
Wow.
and that's all I did.
How many Advil did that take?
It was more emotional stress than actual physical stress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, so it's all
So
back up and
similar,
running.
similar to what you did.
You can't see it, but there's, probably heard that. My server rack that I purchased a while ago is now sitting actually right here. I can touch it.
Okay.
With my network switch. It's a compact area, but that was the intent because we're going to finish the rest of the basement here over time. And this is in a much more secluded space that I can just wall off. So when my kid has friends over, like nobody in theory should come back here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that's why the show's been offline for a week. It wasn't really intended to be that way. But
Right.
once I learned the basement was happening, I was like, let's just do it because then otherwise we're going to be waiting. And I just got it all done in a week. And now they've got to come back and finish up some minor things, but everything major for the most part is done. We got to have some plumbing work done. I have a shower downstairs and I think the drain is collapsed, which I'm not going to fix that. I did do a bunch of significant overhead plumbing. There's actually a water line right above my head that I had to fix that was leaking.
Impressive, you know?
Yeah. It's been like I honestly probably have been sleeping like 4 hours a night
Jeez.
just because there's been so much to do. But last night I went to bed like I felt like 8:30 and my kid is actually home today because they're on fall break because of course they are. And I rolled over and woke up and was like, oh, I bet it's like 4 a.m. or something. Nope, 8:15 a.m. Like I just knocked out.
Yeah. No, I understand. I mean, yeah, that's not surprising.
The other fun thing about having a kid with a broken arm and a ginormous cast, Paul, is that she feels the need that she can't sleep alone in her own bed in case she needs something. And so there's nothing like having...
What would you need
I know,
when you're sleeping?
I don't know. I don't know. But it is funny because I keep forgetting, like, the most tragic part of this, obviously, is her breaking her arm. The second most tragic part is that she had just kind of reached the age where she was, like, really starting to be self-sufficient. Like, could take showers by herself, could get herself dressed.
I often tell this to new parents, most of your life is going to be terrible. But there's this wonderful moment that occurs when kids are little and they can get up on a weekend day, go downstairs, fix themselves a bowl of cereal or whatever they eat for breakfast, watch cartoons or something on TV, and they don't bother you.
Yep.
And you get to, on those days, sleep in.
Yeah.
And it's wonderful. It is exactly what you need as a young parent after years and years of sleepless nights or short nights, whatever. And then they become teenagers and life is hell again. But you enjoy the brief moment.
Yeah.
The couple of years there, you get some weekends. It's nice.
Yeah. And we had just reached that point, and now it's all thrown out the window because she can't even get the cast wet because there's incisions underneath, and so it's like you can't get a waterproof cast like that. And she can't open snacks because, it was pretty sad. I tossed her, we have like individually wrapped cheese sticks, and I tossed her one, and it just hit her, and she looked, and she's like, what do you want me to do with this? Like,
exactly.
I can't.
Yeah. So, first thing you should do is do what my mother used to do, which is just get a hefty trash bag and duct tape it to her arm.
Yeah.
That will.
Yep. No, you're not wrong. Like, we've done that. Like, because obviously she still needs to take showers or baths or whatever.
Yep.
But yeah, so now we're back. We're back, Paul.
Well, yeah, it's trying to think what happened while we were gone. I mean, Monday was technically a holiday.
Mm-hmm.
It's very clear that our work doesn't celebrate that holiday because they sent approximately 192 text messages via Skype on Monday. But I thought I was going to write a few things and maybe take the afternoon off, whatever. I ended up working that day. Mm-hmm. I worked from like 7 o'clock in the morning till I think 8 o'clock at night. Like, it was a crazy long day. And then of course Tuesday was the Google event. Was that Tuesday? Yeah.
Yeah.
Seems like it was a million years ago.
I need to go watch. I missed the only thing I caught out of that one.
Prepare yourself for the crappiest event of all time. If you thought Panos was a little off a couple of weeks ago in New York. This entire event was off. There was a segment where an older woman came out, sat on a couch, talked for like 20 minutes slowly about sustainability and recycling and choice of material. I don't even, who knows? Everyone nodded off. No one heard anything she said. It was crazy bad. Crazy bad. You should watch it.
Yeah.
But you might want to drink first, or, approach it like an MST thing or something. That was really strange.
I did see that my Nest stuff got cheaper. The subscription, now it's like $6 for all the devices that you own. There you get some more flexibility in there, which is nice.
Right.
So we've got that. Here's the other thing, Paul, that showed up, which you want to see how fancy I've gotten in here, Paul? This is how arrogant I've gotten. Look at this. Look at this.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Look at that.
That's, do you refer to that as the money shot? You should.
Was not expecting, of all the words that I was expecting, whatever. So this guy showed up.
Yep. And
here's the thing. It is exactly what you would expect. A super priced, super premium Xbox controller. But I got to tell you, I think I would have some trouble recommending this thing for this.
Yeah, no, I am literally not going to buy one. After pining for years for them to do this, what I've been doing is just using the controller I have, and it's fine.
It's fine.
It's absolutely fine.
Don't get me wrong. If you're listening to this and you've bought this and you're waiting for it to ship, you will be happy with it. There's no question about it. But I have serious reservations about recommending someone buy a controller that's $180.
Yeah, 3 times the cost of a normal controller. Right. And look, I don't know how you do things, but it comes, as you know, with all those paddles and the replacement tops of things and blah blah blah. I just put the stuff on and used it. I never once switched anything out, other than to kind of look at it and see what it was like, and then I just used it as it was. Yeah. I and the only thing that is different with this controller and my normal controller is when I drop it on the floor, it explodes like a Lego set, and I have to go put it back together again.
The one thing that I do like that I wish other controllers had is that you can change the tension on the thumbsticks.
Yes. Right.
Which that is the one feature that I miss from the other stuff. Okay. But to your exact point, if you are comfortable using a controller that shipped with the original, I can't grab it. Just don't touch this, and you will never. There's no need. You don't need to spend the money. You're not going to miss anything. You are perfectly fine and content. That being said, if you have $180 to spend and you want to just blow it on something, you will be very happy with this. I
think I haven't tried the new one, but I mean, based on my experience with the old one, I think what the advice that I would give boils down to is people would say, should I spend the money and buy this thing? And the response is, well, if you're asking me that question, you should not.
Yeah, I agree.
There are people who kind of intuitively understand they need this for some reason. They're professional gamers or, whatever. But esports guys, whatever it is, I mean, I like I said, I use this normal controller every day. It's great. It works fine.
Yeah, and the other big question, which I'm assuming Microsoft has fixed, but that's a big assumption, is this rubber going to peel off just like the old one? That is, if you pay $180 for this thing. Well, they fixed that problem
with Band 2, so I'm sure they did on this one.
Yeah, it does feel different, I guess.
Interesting.
Like, I don't know if I don't know.
I did like the grippiness of it. You know, that it's pleasant. I mean, it's, in the same way that it's better driving a Porsche than it is driving a Camry. You know, but then again, both of them are high quality, and depending, are you a professional driver, or are you running down to Safeway to buy some eggs? I don't know.
Yeah, so that's that. I'll do a much longer write-up about it in the near future, but I mean, it's a controller, so is it going to make you a professional gamer? No. Is it? The question is does this give you some sort of an advantage playing online? Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
See, right. And I have to say, in my experience, it didn't, but it's probably because I wasn't holding it right. I mean, or using it right, I guess is the right word. I don't know. I just do the same thing over and over again. I mean.
Yep. So there you go.
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, minus the fact that I'm out of the loop on the Google stuff, but this is back up and running. I got about 17 million emails and stuff to catch back up on life.
I definitely recommend watching the event. Understand that especially the first half of it is unbelievably terrible. The stuff they did with the photography on the camera system and so forth and the new Pixels is incredible and is really worth watching. The guy who talks about that, he's from Google Research. He's an elderly guy, an older guy, sorry. He's fantastic. He's fantastic. The rest of this presentation is really bad. But the Nest stuff, and of course they've rebranded their home stuff as Nest, and they're updating some but not all of that. They introduced 2 products that aren't coming out until 2020. So it looks like they're copying both Microsoft and Apple now. One of them was their earbuds, and the other one is, what was the other one? I don't remember. And then they have a lower cost Pixel laptop, but it's, Chromebook. It's really not that lower cost. I mean, if you get off the M3 and it gets to $1,000 really quick. So it's really, for a lot of people, going to be $1,000 to $1,200. So it's not that cheap, but
yeah. Which brings me up to a point. I did see those earbuds. It's amazing how they have a design similar to Microsoft's, but they don't look as bad.
There was an offhand reference to the Surface earbuds. They didn't call them out by product name or say Microsoft, but they did say that, we wanted to do this without having it look stupid on your ear and be really big. And it's impossible that wasn't a dig. So you can look for that. I don't remember what the other 2020 release was.
Was it the cheaper Pixel? Because they usually do that in the spring.
No, that's coming right out. The cheaper. Oh, sorry. There is no. They didn't talk about the cheaper Pixels. That will come. That will come in the spring for sure. Probably without an event or something. I don't remember. It doesn't matter. Most of it is, the thing I wrote today. I mean, I'm very much in the Google ecosystem in many ways. And I've always said, or I've long said that this is a company that can really excel in this smart home arena because they have all the AI stuff and they know everything about you and blah, blah, blah. But this is, I think, the 3rd year in a row where Amazon has had a September event. They've released approximately 1,100 products. And then Google follows it up by releasing 3 or 4, and it's like, are you serious about this? I mean, I don't know if I had made this comment on First Ring Daily, but I was talking about the smartwatch and I was like, there was this rumor that they were just about to release a Pixel Watch and decided not to, but all they've done is nothing. And so you've given Apple 4 or 5 years, whatever it is, to establish dominance in this market, to actually make the product excellent. And you've done nothing. And you can't come in this year or next year with a watch and expect to even compete. You should have come out with a product and made mistakes and improved it, but you didn't. And that's Google. I mean, they just seem to half-ass stuff, and they also, everyone talks about this, throw products at the wall and see what sticks. Google doesn't even do that. They take products off the wall. There's stuff that they introduced a year or 2 ago that they just get rid of silently. Daydream's gone. That little clip camera's gone. I mean, the innumerable number of Google services are gone. Do you trust these guys? I mean, God help you if you fall in love with something they make. It might not be here next year.
Yeah, so I don't know. Windows users or Microsoft fans are probably.
Yes, and I that's a good point. And I just want to be clear. I'm really just comparing Google, Amazon here. Yes, and you could make the same point about Apple in some ways too. With the HomePod, for example. They never came out with a cheaper version of that you could do just sell 2 as a stereo pair, which might be better in some circumstances, or at least cheaper. Yeah. They just don't. It's like they kind of throw this thing out and they're like, I feel like you're either in or you're not. And Apple and Microsoft have done this too. I'm just talking about Google in this particular case, but Google, I question their resolve.
Yeah.
That's all.
Don't we?
So watch it. I would love. I want to hear what you think about what they did. I know you're a Nest guy.
Over the weekend, and then we'll reflect on Monday.
Yes, we shall.
I got to tell you, I've been so off on whatever the days of the week are. Mostly because of the hospital stuff. Because that
I can't. Yeah.
That just it took my wife stayed overnight with my daughter, but I was there until 1, And then her surgery, they said more than likely.
They'll only let one person stay, right? Isn't that how that works?
We could have, because it's a children's hospital. They'll let you.
No, really, just want to.
But
okay.
But I'm like, honey, you can sleep on that couch. We all know that couch.
Yeah.
But I left there at like
Plastic
1,
cushions.
and then I was back at the hospital, I think 6:30 maybe, because they kept telling us she was going to be one of the first to go in, which reminds me. So when we got there were 2 other girls, roughly the same age, all with broken elbows.
Oh,
Like it's one of the most common injuries of a kid because of how kids grow, and how we naturally fall, like kind of on our arms or whatever.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's it.
Yeah, I think like
breaks.
1 out of every 3 kids breaks their arm in some way. You know, I mean, it's just very common. You know.
Yep.
Did I ever tell you my most awful hospital story? Because obviously I have, experience with my son who almost died when he was really young, but we were in the hospital, and he went from a private room to a shared room, and the shared room was with a girl who was born with her organs on the outside, so she had to have like continuous surgeries to one by one put them inside of her body. So she was screaming all the time. It was awful. But we were in this hellhole, this madness. It was just madness. And of course, our son we don't know what's going on with him. And out at the nurse's station, there's a TV up there, and you could see there's some chaos, something terrible is happening. And I walk out to the doorway, and I look up at the TV, and what it was, I think it was Columbine, but it was one of those school shootings. So this would have been like April 1999. So whatever that was, whichever one that was. And I swear to God, what went through my head, which I think you can appreciate as a parent, is I thought it was happening in Phoenix where we lived. Like because it's on the TV. So I'm like, oh my God, like those people are coming here. Like this place was already like a war zone. Like it was already insane. And all I could think was, now this is happening here, and I know it's terrible, but it's like, it's just where your mind's at when you're super protective of your kid. Of course, you want everything, you're scared to death. I mean, you want everything to be fine. And, but what's happening around you is craziness. Like everything, it's not just you, like the whole world's falling apart, so in a children's hospital, it's the worst.
The world is still falling apart, I think, pretty quickly.
Yes.
But hopefully not this studio. Hopefully this studio is rock solid and not falling apart, because
it's funny. Like go back to just your view. The TV is very clearly straight, but because of there's something. It almost looks like it's.
I know. I was thinking that too. Like I feel like I'm not level.
Yeah, it's almost. You ever do this? So you get like a photograph, and it's of a thing, whatever it is, and it's not quite level. Yeah. So if you use Photoshop, there's like a level tool, and you drag the level across a straight surface, and you level the thing, but then the other part of it's not level. You know what I mean? Like it's almost, there's a weird skewness to it.
It's because the challenge is, so this desk is at an angle. It's not perpendicular.
Yep.
And so
but I think that's okay. I mean, I think that's the right way to do it.
That kind of looks slightly better. I think the laptop was really thrown off, because it looks like the laptop is like way.
Yeah, it's like an MC Escher painting now. You get like all these lines going in different directions. Yeah,
it looks slightly better, but yeah, I was thinking that too. Is like I kind of feel like I'm falling over, but I was basing the frame of reference, like we exactly said, the top of the TV with the ceiling up there, and no,
the top of the TV is perfectly level with the top of the screen. And actually, when you split the screen like this, you wouldn't notice anything. It's only when you go wide like that, it's like
I think it's this desk. I might try putting this desk just like perfectly straight.
Yeah.
And then try sitting at an angle and see if that doesn't. But yeah. Anyways, these boards are attached much better this time around. I don't know if people realize the last time it was actually, these things are really light. They're like 10 pounds.
Right.
The old studio was literally held together with mostly Velcro.
Yeah. Which is fine, actually, because it's light.
Yeah. Yeah, I just got industrial Velcro. But this time what I did was I put, for people who want to know, is I put 1x4s going all the way across. The way across. And then this is actually screwed in. I've got to go back and hide some of the screw holes, which you can't see too well, actually. Maybe I'm just going to be lazy and not do it. I tried to hide
screw holes where? In
this right here.
Oh, no, you don't see any screw holes. Show me a screw hole. Point to one.
That's what I'm looking for. Like I did a there's one right behind me.
Oh, that one I can see, but you're in front of that.
Yeah. There's one over here somewhere.
No, you can't see it.
No, but I mean, they're tiny screws, so
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's all back together and everything's backwards for me, but that'll get used to it. And then,
That's funny.
yep. So there you go.
I angled my desk. Didn't know. Okay.
We'll see. We'll see. So, folks, that wraps it up for today. We should be back tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Time for First Ring Daily Live, provided this all stays together and everything goes according to plan.
Or we'll be back next week.